Hello and welcome to my latest video on Jurassic World Alive. And with version 2.19 just dropping, I'm very excited to bring you my first look and analysis of the Rexy Hybrid Tyrannometrodon. And first off, you've got to say, what an amazing looking creature. I think Ludia have done a great job in getting that Post-Dimetrodon and Rexy mix together. So we've got that kind of classic Tyrannosaurus body, and then we've got that Dimetrodon sail. So I think it looks really, really good, and the colours look really menacing as well. So if you want to find out what Tyrannometrodon is all about, then this is the video for you. And by far the most interest I had from my community was for Tyrannometrodon. I did a poll on my YouTube channel, and over 71% of you were most excited about Tyrannometrodon. So here it is. Here's my video on Tyrannometrodon. I hope you enjoy it. Okay, so first off, this is a fierce creature, so very much a tank killer. It's any resilient creatures it comes up against is going to absolutely bash them. And later on in my video, I will be showing you what creatures Tyrannometrodon is most effective against, and ones which it might want to run away from. Okay, so that's later on in the video. I'm also going to show you who I think is better, Rexy or Tyrannometrodon. I think that's a question that we all want to know. So I'll be answering that question in this video. Okay, so Tyrannometrodon. Fierce cannon is how Ludia describe it. I think that's a very good description. So base stats, we've got health at 4950, damage at 1900, speed of 110, no armor, and 35% chance of getting a critical hit, which is pretty good. And as you can see, and I mentioned before, this is a hybrid. It's made up of Rexy and Post-Dimetrodon, so I hope you've got plenty of DNA to build and fuse Tyrannometrodon. Okay, so in terms of, we'll go through abilities first, and then we'll come on to resistances. So in terms of abilities, first off, we've got Ferocious Cleansing Strike. Okay, so this increases damage by 20%. So this is its base ability, and it's getting an increased damage of 20% for 4 attacks, 2 turns. Okay, it also does a cleanse. That'll be really useful, and it's going to target the highest HP, remove shields, attack ×1, bypassing armor. So, I mean, a pretty solid starting point there. Next off, we've got Group Devouring Impact. So this does, because it's a devouring ability, it will heal 0.6 times direct damage dealt over 2 turns, and will cleanse vulnerability. Okay, it targets all opponents. Watch out, flocks. Remove shields and taunt. Okay, and there's a 1.5 times attack bypassing armor, and it's got a cooldown of 2. Next, we've got Tyrant's Roar. Okay, so this depends on how much health Tyrannometrodon has got. So when it's secure, it'll increase speed by 25% for 2 attacks, 1 turn, and increase damage by 50%, 2 attacks, 2 turns. Okay, it'll also target the highest HP and attack ×1, bypassing armor, cooldown of 2. Okay, if it's in a threatened state, it's a priority move. It will increase speed by 25%, 2 attacks, 1 turn, and damage again will be increased by 50%, 2 attacks, 2 turns, and again a heal of 25% of its max HP. Okay, so I think that's really useful. It targets all opponents, again, watch out flocks, and does an attack of 1.5 times bypassing armor. So in that threatened state, priority attack times 1.5, and gets a speed bump as well, and extra damage. I mean, it's all going on there, isn't it? Okay, moving on to Decimating Hunger. It's targets highest HP, remove shields, 2.5 times attack. Okay, with that 50% increase in damage with the Tyrant's Roar, I mean, it's like I said, it's a fierce cannon. It's a big cannon as well. It also heals 50% of direct damage dealt, so it's that kind of devouring type ability over 2 turns, That is delayed by one turn, so can't do that straight away, and a cooldown of 3, because it's a big impacting move. And interestingly, it's also got a swap in attack. Okay, so you swap this in, you're getting a ×1 attack, reduces speed by 100% for one attack, one turn, and locks it down for 2 turns as well. So I think this is unusual for a Tyrannosaurus type creature. We're getting a swap in attack. Amazing. Okay. Right, so I know with all that ability, what about its resistances? Okay, so in terms of resistances, we've got 15% resistance to reduced damage. Okay, so, you know, not bad, not bad. 75% stun, 50% swap prevention, 50% rend, 25% damage over time, 100% vulnerability, 75% speed decrease, and 100% crit hit. So its critical hit chance cannot be reduced. Really useful. Okay, so that is its abilities, its resistances. So how is it going to do against opposition? So this picture, I've basically looked at the kind of the top creatures, the meta creatures, and those that I see predominantly in the arena, and how I think it will do against those creatures. So we've got on the right there, we've got those creatures that's going to be very effective against, and I think will defeat those creatures unless they swap out. And then on the left hand side, we've got those creatures it's going to have to be a bit wary of, and I suspect it's not going to come out very well on a kind of one-to-one basis. Okay, and I give them some reasons there for that. Okay, so just picking out, I'll start off with the who it's not going to be effective against. So we've got Referenantum, we've got Erlocuspix, both of these distraction beasts. Okay, so for me, I don't think Tyrannometrodon is going to do too much damage, and at the same time, I think they're going to do a lot of damage. Okay, Rexy, I think that would get the better of Tyrannometrodon because it's got that priority move. It doesn't have to depend on how much health it's got, which Tyrannometrodon has. So for me, I think it's a kind of a 2-turn kill for Rexy. Doesn't necessarily mean that Rexy is better than Tyrannometrodon in terms of overall battling. This profile I've got here is for Tyrannometrodon, but one-on-one Rexy Tyrannometrodon, I think Rexy's getting the edge there. Alberto Sevia has a priority move, attack, so again I think that's going to be the difference between the two creatures. Compsoraptor, we all know what a beast that is, and although Tyrannometrodon has got flock attacking abilities, I see Compsoraptor with its speed and its priority attacks getting the better of Tyrannometrodon. Okay, and then we move on to the creatures who have dodge advantage. So again, this is going to make Tyrannometrodon difficult for it to actually cause any damage. So we've got Indonemis, we've got Lystrosavis, and we've got Scorpius Rex Gen 3. So all three have got dodge abilities. So that's, you're basically, it's the RNG, the random number generator. It's a bit of a chance whether or not Tyrannometrodon actually manages to get any damage on those creatures. So for me, I think it'll come off worse with that. I think the odds are against it beating those creatures. Okay, on the other end, we've got the creatures who I think Tyrannometrodon will absolutely blast. So unsurprisingly, because Tyrannometrodon is a fierce creature, we've obviously got some resilient creatures in there. Ankylos Lux, and we've got Schoonosaurus, we've got Arctovaciles. So for those, I think it's going to beat it. But for Ankylos Lux, it's important. Tyrannometrodon needs to have typically over 7,017 HP, because Ankylos Lux does have that priority strike turn 2, which could take out Tyrannometrodon if it doesn't have enough HP. Okay, Tyrannometrodon does not have a priority attack other than Tyrant's Roar when it's in a threatened state. So if it's in a threatened state, then you know, potentially it's going to get the edge, but I don't think it would. I don't think the health would be low enough at that point. And we've also got Tyrannometrodon. Now, although that does have a priority speed boost, or it does have a speed boost with alert squall, it does need it to be in a threatened state, and I just don't think Tyrannometrodon is going to get to that threatened state. I think Tyrannometrodon is going to blast out of the water before it gets to that point. Okay, Giganix, again, Tyrannometrodon is going to do its Tyrant's Roar, then a big hit. Doesn't matter that Giganix is doing its health boost. It's not going to get a chance to do its second big hit. So also that's dependent on speed, but again, Tyrant's Roar gets a speed boost for Tyrannometrodon, so it's going to get that second attack in before Giganix does. Okay, so I think Tyrannometrodon is going to have the speed advantage there. Androtops, although it's got that kind of, it's got attack and a counter, again, the speed boost that Tyrannometrodon is getting with that Tyrant's Roar is going to give it the advantage in that second turn. Similarly with Imperatosuchus, again, speed boost and second attack, big second attack is going to take out Imperatosuchus, even though it's going to do its health boost, its bait. It's not going to make any difference, I don't think. And what else have we got? We've got Hydroboa and Aladriguez. Again, I think it's a case of Tyrannometrodon getting that advantage on that second turn because of its speed boost. So let's talk about that. Key abilities for me is that kind of Tyrant's Roar. Get that in early. You get your speed bump of 25%, which gives it the advantage potentially on the second turn. And in addition, you're getting a 50% damage boost as well. So even Phlox, it's got a group attack. So with that 50% boost, I think it's going to wipe out a lot of Phlox that don't have any kind of dodge abilities. Okay, so that's why Aladriguez is there. That's why Ardognathus is there as well. Okay, so that is it in terms of the analysis. Let's have a look at some footage of Tyrannometrodon in action. This is taken from a beta build, which was made available from Ludia for content creators like myself to basically show you early footage of the new creatures in action. So let's have a look. What do you think? Let's put some comments down below. I want to hear what your view is on Tyrannometrodon. Do you feel it's better than Rexy? Do you feel Rexy is better than it? You know, are you going to be going all out for Tyrannometrodon, or is it really Rexy is going to be your focus? For me, if there was a battle between Rexy and Tyrannometrodon, I think probably Rexy's probably going to have that edge because it's got that priority move. Even though Tyrannometrodon does have a priority move with that Tyrant's Roar when it's in a threatened state, I just don't think it's going to get. I don't think it's going to work out in terms of the health points, in terms of getting that threatened state. I think Rexy will do a big hit, but I don't think it'll be low enough HP for Tyrannometrodon to do that priority Tyrant's Roar. That's my view. I'd be very interested to hear what your view is as well.
Thank you very much for watching my video. I hope you enjoyed it or found it informative. Please do provide feedback in the description below. I always respond to comments, so please feel free to add your comments, feedback or suggestions. Okay, until next time, this is Alien Newt.